We were on a return journey from an assignment at Nguru wetlands. It had been a long and tiring day, and we longed for the comfort of a home. Tired as we were, we still had a final burst of energy to capture the magnificent view that unfolded with the setting of the sun. Right before our eyes were livestock as they make their return from grazing. Heading them home were young boys and girls at peace with their world. All around were pictures of unique houses, neighborhoods distant yet close to one another, and expectant families waiting the arrival of their children and herds. The memory will linger, but there was more waiting for us in Hamisu when the day finally broke. It is one of the most amazing lives in Nigeria and anywhere across the West African region. It is the life of the Fulani. The Fulanis are some of the least understood people in Nigeria, both in terms of their occupation, in terms of their settlement, and in terms of their way of life. But today, I am in a Fulani settlement, and it is a life like you have never seen. Very beautiful, very unique, very outstanding, and something you have never seen. Just follow me. Welcome to Hamisu, a mega local government area of Jigawa State. The countryside of this little village is host to over 100 Fulani households. They cover an extensive area of this countryside, so much that the village is identified more with the Fulani settlements than with the host community. It beat the imagination why the pastoral Fulanis choose this particular area for their seasonal settlements. For one, the area is given to massive flooding. Fodder and water points are in short supply. And in terms of proximity, it is uncomfortably close to the main road and to townships. In the normal understanding of traditional pastoral Fulani settlement, this is everything but normal. But then there are peculiarities too. The perspective is vast and very beautiful. In this side of Miga local government, there are over 20 Fulani settlements in this area. You just can look at it. And within the limits of all your vision, you can find that these are Fulani settlements. Now, the most beautiful aspect of this is that this is their township, their country. And this is where they have their mall. In fact, when you come to this place, you don't find a hospital, you don't find a school, you don't find a shopping complex, you find nothing. Yet these people are making a beautiful life out of their own life. What is their secret? We find good reception at the settlement. I developed a personal fascination with the courtesy of the people. When they greet, they go down. Therefrom, they ask extensive questions about the state of their family and possessions. The community leader, Ardu, a fine gentleman, took personal responsibility to take us around part of the settlements. When he discovers our task is too time-consuming and demanding, he wished us well and said his goodbye. By then, however, he has extensively talked to us about life in the settlements, shown us places, and committed us to the hands of a younger man. There was inner satisfaction in Ardo when he talked to us. He said it emanates from the peace the settlement continues to enjoy.
We live in peace and harmony.
The admission of peace in this vast open environment is pleasing to hear. The Ardo estimate that there are about 100 households settled across over 10 kilometers of the area. Collectively, they have over 2 million stocks of livestock and cattle, camels, sheep, goats, donkeys, horses and dogs. We were early enough to this unique environment to capture the people at their early morning chores. Their activities tell stories of families at peace with themselves who elevated humility to a high art. Livestock apart, the environment is austere. It has worldly possessions. There are no much differences in the manner the compounds begin their day. The children cluster before a fireplace to warm themselves or start a fire for breakfast. Mama makes sure the compound is pleasant look. Papa observes life as it unfolds in his household. In other compounds, early morning chores entail rigorous pounding and sieving of grains for food. The children are never far away from a fire pot. Going out for grazing begins at 10. Before then, milking the cow takes place. It is always a sin when milking cows. The young of the cow never comes to term with the exercise. The milkers have to take him on first before they could access his mother. There is this episode also in another compound. A mother goat is in labor. There are complications. The head of the baby was out, but without the front legs, which is a difficulty that can kill both mother and baby. The mother goat buzzed and turned in her pains. Somewhere within the compound, a surgeon emerged. The absence of veterinary extension services is a factor this community had labors, despite the density of their livestock. Local skills were developed though, like in this intervention, but it is far from adequate.
Extension service is one of the areas that government should advise not just the Fulani pastoralists, all agriculturalists, all farmers. The most important thing they need is a proper market for their own product. And in order to attain that market objective, those market objectives, they need to be able to produce using modern techniques, and the extension service is what gives them that knowledge, the understanding of how it should be done.
The iconic side of this settlement is the nature and uniformity of their room structures. It is a lovely discussion I'm having with my host, who is the Joro of this area, a nice gentleman. But then, one interesting thing is, the apostles of skyscrapers and their complexity in the cities may be shocked at the build and quality of this house. They may think it is pedestrian. They may think it is that kind of houses you built some 20 centuries ago. But believe me, it is the housing that is housing one of the most nomadic and one of the most interesting people in this life, the Fulanis. This house has everything proof. It's waterproof, it's windproof. Whereas some houses may collapse due to rain, or they may even disappear. This house doesn't disappear because of a simple technology, the polythene technology. When you put a polythene in a house like this, no matter the weight of the rain and no matter the weight of the wind, it doesn't go down. It keeps them safe, it keeps them warm. And that is the beautiful perspective we have in it. But more than that are the people that are occupying the places. May play Joro. Joro, salamu alaikum. The high mobility of pastoral Fulanis informed partly the development of these house structures. They are collapsibles, which can be recycled in their travels.
We don't have fear with our houses. With heavy winds and rains, trees fall. This does not.
Migration is an indispensable aspect of Fulani life, always in the move, always looking for where they can have greener pasture, for where they can have peace, where they can have water. Now, this is a typical situation of migration. A family are moving to a specific area to go and look for greener pasture. And when they move, their movement is total. Their wives, their children, their livestock, and everything. Settlers in Hamisu are given to migrations. Their cue is always the onset of rains. It is an epic journey with a flexible destination.
We are going west of Jahon to the forest of Urmawa. We land the grass is green there. We are coming from a forest in Niger Republic.
Okay, me yasa ku taso to? Naga kuma kamar wurin da rani ko ina na. To can ba hatsi ba da ba abinci ne ko kuma me ya faru? Ba abinci? To yanzu in za ku je din kuna tsamana akwai abinci kenan sosai? Thinking aloud, one cannot help but ask, can this life pattern for the Fulani continue forever? Will it survive the dynamics of modern world?
We have to do that. We cannot continue allowing the Fulanis to graze from one grazing reserve to another, and it's an old way of doing things, and it cannot continue. Their own production system cannot match modern ways of life. So they need to send their children to school, they need to settle down, they need to integrate themselves into the proper economy, they need to develop cattle ranches, not using these local cattle that they will be moving from one place to another. They need to change their own lifestyle. But even if they don't do that, if there were to be proper incentives by government, other people will do it. But you will go around throughout the north, you will hardly find proper cattle ranches managed in the modern way that they should be. So, and that is because there is no incentive, no economic, no socio-economic incentive for the people who have the capital and the wherewithal, the knowledge to produce these livestock.
It is true in the meantime that the children of school-going age in this community do not go to school. They do not even have one. They are the active workforce at grazing. Grazing is the occupational definition of a Fulani herdsman. It defines everything about his life. Now, this is a peculiar grazing area in Hamisu in Miga local government area of Jigawa State. Here can carry as many as 100,000 cows in a day. It is early in the day and the cows are still coming. But then, of course, the peculiar nature is great that only the young do it. And if you look around me, the people that are doing the grazing mostly are young children who are supposed to be in school, yet not on it. Now, these are some of the peculiar problems with the grazing, if you think it in terms of Western education.
We go to schools in the afternoon, but we run schools.
Generally, there are expert concerned that the pastoral Fulanis are at the crossroads nationally.
Every person that is carefully studying the situation is concerned. You know that the livestock production in this part of the country is now facing a serious threat. Until unless government intervene, there will be low production of livestock.
The pastoralists of Hamisu in particular are vocal on how they are affected by loss of grazing area and insufficient feeds for their livestock.
There are no designated grazing areas. We have lost designated grazing areas. It is no longer available. The issue we have here is lack of feeds for our livestock. There are no designated grazing areas. When the rain sets in, the grazing areas are converted to farmlands. Necessarily, we have to migrate, sometimes to as far as Nigerian Republic. We spend the year there. We are here now. With the rains, we go back.
Up until now, people seem to think that this is a Fulani problem, without realizing that it affects the greater economy, that the production of meat and milk by the pastoralists is for the whole economy of the country. It's not for their own personal consumption. The people have adopted over the years traditional methods of cattle rearing because of lack of proper incentives on the part of government for them to have a more modern, more acceptable system of cattle rearing or livestock rearing generally. And this has affected not just the pastoralists themselves, but has caused conflict and caused problems in the economy as a whole.
Jigawa State is richly endowed with large bodies of streams, rivers and grasslands. Yet, the crisis of fodder and water points often bring farmers and pastoralists into open confrontation. Ongoing state government efforts to recover grazing areas and cattle routes have reduced tension between the two.
I believe there are some grazing lands that were being encroached by the farmers. This is a common situation. Godsoka and this government is doing its best to see that such lands that have been encroached by the farmers are retrieved. And currently, there is a board that is actively involved in such exercise, and they are retrieving the lands. They are demarcating the lands so that nobody will encroach such lands.
In a situation where there are widespread concern by both the pastoral planners and interest groups in Jigawa State about loss of grazing area and cattle routes, it cannot be said of water points. And this area has over 10 water points for livestock, which do not dry all year round. The government also performed a little gesture for the settlers of Hamisu, which guaranteed them clean source of drinking water. A borehole was strategically built for this community, and it remains invaluable to their water needs. From all the distances of the settlements, women come on donkey backs and on foot to get water for the family. Somehow, the borehole looks resilient and effective. Spending a day in the settlements, I still wonder, cannot these people, given their assets, enjoy a better life?
The people must form a cooperative society. First of all, when the farmers form cooperative society, what the government should do is to make sure that all the lands that were being encroached are retrieved. After retrieving the encroached grazing land, then such grazing land should be refertilized, replanted, fenced, and maintained for such cooperative farmers to benefit from this exercise. When you form these cooperative farmers, you divide them into different products associations, like milk producers, cheese, butter. Some they produce only fattened animals, different classes of the enterprises, so that the government will know they have this cooperative society. This cooperative society is located within local government. There is grazing reserve. These grazing reserves were being rehabilitated, fenced, and demarcated. It is only the cooperative farmers that will take their animals to that area for grazing.
By the time I wanted to leave Hamisu, I had mustered enough goodwill with the people. They invited me to a naming ceremony in a distant neighborhood. We trekked down. In Hausa, naming ceremonies are usually in the morning. For the Fulani, it is in the evening, late evening. So here I have some ardos. We are going there with them. So I'll bring you the details of what is going to happen there. The naming ceremony is a pleasant experience for me. It rekindled that period in the village growing up, when there was deep feeling of communality. From all directions, people appear from the bush path to be part of the ceremony. The goodwill was mutual and very sincere. There are defined roles at the ceremony. The men gather under a tree to go through the ritual of the naming. Kola nuts are shared. Praise singers spice the area. Even as long-lost friends reunite. Within all this, At the home, relations come together to cook for the invited male guests outside. The fire burn under as assorted food items are cooked. It is a feature of this kind of get-together that artisans come to find market. A traditional barber is here shaving clean the father of the child, even as prayers are offered for the blessing of the newborn baby. Everything done, invited guests are served food in rich abundance. The naming ceremony here is getting complete. You can see what I have as a prize. A whole calabash of fra and food. So help me as I enjoy it. My belly full and lots of cola nuts in my pockets. I was cautious not to overstay my welcome. I rushed my cameraman to where we anchored our vehicle, wished our host well, and began a night journey back to Kano, thinking how to tell the story of Fulani settlers of Hamisu.